Hey, thanks for joining the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking and doing some TSI on our property, so stay with us.
Hi, this is Tim and Joel. Welcome to Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses,
a podcast about the outdoors, hunting,
and being a steward of the land.
Hey, if you like what these two dumbasses are doing, please hit the like button and subscribe today.
Welcome to Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses. Tim is on hiatus. He's in a much warmer place than we are today. It's middle of February, roughly, but beautiful day. Kind of chilly this morning, 26, 27 degrees. But wanted to take you on this journey with us on improving our forests, improving our deer habitat, we believe, and through TSI, tree stand improvement. So there's several reasons you would do TSI, tree stand improvement. The reason we're doing it, and I'll show you some scenes here, but we've got some mature trees. This area that we're TSIing was a pasture at one time back in the 40s and 50s. I think I have a map on that. I'll include some historical maps of where this is at. But so we got some mature trees here, but we've also got a lot of little trees or smaller trees competing with these bigger trees for the nutrients and the sunshine, mostly the nutrients. So we got a pretty good canopy here, but what we want to do is open it up. We want to eliminate the competitive trees and the undergrowth underneath and get some of that sunshine down to the ground. Selfishly, a side benefit is this is an area where we deer hunt, and we want to be able to create some micro plots and some kill plots in here using some seed that would strive in some shady area. We're thinking some oats, oats, winter wheat, winter rye, something like that. We're going to have to play around with it, but we've got a lot of work to do, and we got to get to it.
Chick chainsaw, y'all. Just hit record and go for it.
Okay, here's a perfect example. Mrs. Dumbass has been in here with her chick chainsaw, and she's cut a lot of smaller competing trees out of here. Most of these are hackberries and some elm. If there was some hardwoods in here, either oak or walnut, we would retain those. But what we're trying to do is get rid of these competing trees to get more sunlight to the ground. And then you can see this big oak in the back. We've got another walnut tree right here. There's quite a little good stand of walnuts and oak in this area. So really trying to remove the competition for the sun and mostly the nutrients in the ground. And we've got some work here to do with some bigger elm, and there's a black cherry there that's in really bad shape that I'll probably take out, as I think it's dead anyway. But we'll either double ring those or cut them out. But perfect example of what. So when we're tree stand improvement, cutting down some trees, we'll either cut them down or when they get bigger, and you guys can define big, but some of these, this size of tree, it's probably, 6 to 8 inches in diameter. I like to double ring them, and double ringing will kill the tree, and the tree will remain standing, but it'll be dead, and that allows it to not provide any shade. It doesn't take any nutrients from the other trees that I'm trying to support here, and the firewood is dry when these things hit the ground 2 or 3 years later. The wood's ready to burn and ready to go. So that's why on some of these bigger trees we'll double ring them. All right, you've either double ringed these trees, the bigger ones, which I've shown in the video, or you've cut them off. But all the tree stumps you're going to want to treat with Tordon or some type of heavy dose, 5-10% glyphosate, to keep these from growing back. Because if you don't, they're going to look like this. So these are some intentional browse created by Tim and I, and you can see that episode actually by clicking the link up here. But we did this approximately a year and a half ago, to create some browse for deer, and in the process doing some TSI on some smaller trees here. But the deer love coming through here and just nipping these new growth buds coming out of here. But you can see here that this tree will quickly grow back if you don't treat it with Tordon or glyphosate or something of that nature. Okay, we're putting some closure to this project. We're chipping away at it, so we've probably got 30 or 40 hours in. My wife and I doing this 4-acre piece of TSI. So if TSI gets any bad publicity, it's typically this. I mean, you're cutting trees and you're letting them lay on the ground. Now we're going to come back and clean these up either this year or next year. And we'll also do a prescribed burn. So I'll include some video of that from last year's burn. But that burn will come in and clean this up. All these down trees provide nutrients to the soil and habitat for some animals and insects and birds. But it looks like it looks. So that's kind of the downside of TSI, at least for a year or two. Okay, this is the area where I shot the first footage when we started our TSI. I'll shoot another footage from about the same spot here, and so you can compare and contrast. We've TSI'd this small, I would guess this is half-acre or so area. And we went back and cleaned everything up, piled it up, and burned what we could. We'll continue to burn that down, but the intent here is to get some sunshine to the ground here and start creating some natural habitat. I'm also going to try to sow some. We'll do a prescribed burn in here next month when it dries up just a little bit more. Get some of this litter off the ground and burn that up, and then I'm going to come back in here, till it, and put some oats down. So we'll see what happens. If you are thinking about doing TSI or any type of tree improvement, I'd really encourage you to get a hold of the DNR district forester for your area. Jeremy Cochran is our forester, and he's come out here 3 times now since we've owned the property. Welcome him. He's a wealth of knowledge. They literally go and do a survey of your land and write up a report on it, and then what can you do to improve the habitat. So really encourage you. That's starting point number 1, is either get your forester involved or your biologist, and start there. There is cost sharing opportunities involved with this, but be prepared. It's probably going to take at least 1 season, if not 2 seasons, to get the paperwork and that workflow process through. So thanks for joining us, and I hope you appreciated the episode. If you did, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to see you get notified on future episodes. But until then, be safe, have fun, and get outdoors.
Thanks for listening or watching our show. We have some exciting topics and guests coming up.
We ask that you subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
We look forward to hearing your suggestions for topics,
Questions and comments. This is 2 Dumbasses signing off. Until next time,
be safe,
have fun, and
get outdoors.